I just want to put enough solder there to kind of get me going. Just to at least hold temporarily until we come up with the best technique for this. So I can see that the wire is melting, or the solder on the wire is melting, but the pad isn't doing so well just yet because we didn't add solder on the pad. So here we go. Let's just come in from the corner, just hold on the pad, add some solder, just wait for it to stick. Alright, there we go. And then we're just going to treat it once we're done. So we're going to do the same thing from this side. Now it's okay if your wire and the solder bridges between the capacitor and this wire. It's totally acceptable because anyways they are connected inside the board here. There we go. And that looks pretty nice. Let's just double check that. And you don't want to put too much because if you're putting a lot and it looks like it's disappearing, that means it's falling on the bottom. So you have to be very careful that when it falls through the bottom, it doesn't really touch anything. And actually that came out really nice. I really like how that came out. The board is hot as hell, so just be careful. So just making sure that's the positive side and make sure this is the negative side. So if you put the capacitor in backwards, it'll blow in your face. So yeah, just keep that in mind and try to avoid that. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of solder on the pads because again, the ground is the most difficult one. So I highly recommend you try out the positive side first because it'll be slightly easier than the ground and it should make your life a little bit easier, or you can at least practice your execution for the next one so you have a better idea, because the worst thing is to go and try to do the harder one first, and there will be a huge difference in the amount of time and heat you'll need to solder in the ground side. So let's go ahead and figure this out here. There we go. And now if we're unable to, as you can tell, melt the wire, it's always recommended to add a bit of solder. As you can tell, my tip went kind of black. It's because I've increased the temperature to 440 degrees Celsius because these wires are thick and these wires act as a heat sink. So the whole wire needs to get hot. It's actually just absorbing all that heat and dissipating it throughout the wire. This is a good time for a, there we go. So that looked like it came out pretty well, hopefully. Wait until we see the other side. And we should not have put the capacitor first, so, but I guess it's okay. So that actually came out pretty nice. I'm actually quite happy with that. Yeah, it's pretty hot. So that came out pretty clean. I'm okay with that. Shiny, beautiful. And it was on there for quite some time. So yeah, always increase the temperature. And once you do that, you will have a really ugly tip. And just lower the temperature back down to 350 degrees Celsius. That's if you are using leaded solder like I am. And most people do. Actually, I like to stick at 360. And just keep adding